It's Sunday morning, and every decent man and woman is listening to Testmiles with Nick Miles on FM News 101 KXL. Buckle in.
Sunday morning, time to talk cars on the next 60 minutes of your weekly automotive experience. I'm Nick Miles. You're listening to America's Automotive Radio Show, keeping you connected on FM News 101 KXL. Testmiles, locally created, nationally celebrated. Coming up in this morning's broadcast, the Portland International Auto Show, just 4 days away. We'll take you through all the scoop of what the show has to offer. And also our finished Project Tyrant. We'll talk about that, plus some exciting things that are coming to the show that you wouldn't expect at an auto show. Last year was a real crowd pleaser for our Land Rover Project Discovery. That was the vehicle where we took a 2002 Land Rover Discovery 2 and we rewrapped it. We put a fabulous interior on it, thanks to the guys at Mobile West. And then we also put a large cannon on the back that fires tennis balls, thanks to Certified Automotive Repair. I will tell you that a little bit worried about driving around with a vehicle that has a cannon on the back. People kind of look at me and they start to get a little nervous about what's this guy doing with a mounted cannon on it. But the dogs seem to love it, and they chase it everywhere. They have a lot of fun.
It'd only be
with it.
bad if I was sitting on the back while you were driving, shooting the cannon.
No, I think you'd probably end up getting yourself hurt that way as well. So what do we got for you in store this year? This year, it's Project Tyrant. So we took a 1999 Suburban, and I have to be honest with you, it was in a lot worse shape when we got it than we thought it was going to be in. Brian from Certified Automotive Repair got the vehicle. He took one look at it and he said, the engine's done, guys. We need to put a new engine in it. So the Certified Automotive Repair stuck a brand new engine in the vehicle. They did a 6.5-inch lift on the vehicle. And I have to tell you, they sent it back with an instructions of things that needed to be done, the wheels and the things that they hadn't done. I absolutely tortured Brian last night with this because Lowell, his brother, texted him and said, thanks for telling us that brakes were disconnected. We found out the hard way. And the phone rang about 30 seconds later. He's like, what happened? We said, no, it's fine. They realized before they got out to the street drive. It could have been bad. And he says, I told everybody everything. I said, all right, Brian, calm down. Nobody got killed. We got a great project vehicle. So the vehicle is almost ready to go. I know that Joel Krebs is driving it today over to Hard Notch Customs to have them start work on it. We were hoping to get it done a little earlier, but the only way you can see the finished product is going to be at the Portland International Auto Show. So some of the people that worked on the project this year were the guys from the wrap company, MCX, and they put that together. And then also, of course, the team at Mobile West who did the interior, and they also did all the electronics and the audio visuals. And they're joining us today on the show, guys. Are you going to be glad to see the back of this?
Yes, just a little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah.
It's been a testy project.
It's been a sprint to the finish line.
I really believe that we should have we have a live reality TV crew do this, because I would have loved to see some fits in the shop of people throwing stuff and screaming.
It's exactly like all the reality shows you see. It's like we're pushing it to the very last second to where we roll it in, and we might be assembling stuff as we roll it in.
Even so much so that 7 p.m. on Tuesday evening, there's a special on the Portland International Auto Show airing on Coin, and we just didn't have final footage of the car to put in the show. So you'll see it being made, but the only way you'll see the final vehicle is actually on the floor in the Mobile West booth.
And is that going to be where it was last year at the bottom of the stairs?
Where
and the
is,
escalator?
no. Where is your booth, Peter, this year?
Oh, no. The booth this year is on the outside ring.
Oh, where
in
all
between the two
C
entrances.
and D, yeah. So in between hall C and D on
right
the
next to
outside.
the
Right next to
Ferraris
all
and
the
Lamborghinis and
high-end cars.
Where's exactly where it
belongs.
should be, right?
of course,
All right.
exotics.
Exotics.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about, first of all, Peter, remind us of what you've done on the vehicle and how it's turned out.
Oh,
A lot of work, I know.
just a little bit. Okay, so we started off. The vehicle showed up and it was not the interior color that we thought it was.
So what was it when it got there? Was it beige or something?
No, we were expecting a tan. So we planned out the wrap, we planned out the interior, we planned out all of this based on the color scheme that we saw in a couple
pictures.
text pictures.
Right.
Right. Shows up completely different color scheme.
So it was supposed to be tan. What color was it?
It's gray, which we end up, choosing little different colors, evolving the plan, evolving the wrap, getting it to all tie together so it looked.
So originally the plan was sort of a beige and green wrap on the outside and green and beige dragon scale style seats on the inside.
Absolutely.
So,
and so we had it all planned out.
What was plan B then?
Well, no, it turned out similar, but we had to change hues because, the green that we had originally picked that looked really good with the tan would look completely awful with the gray.
Right.
So, Mad Dash to redo things. That's an understatement.
I will tell you, I was afraid that it would look hideous. It does. I've seen the pictures. I haven't actually seen the real thing, but it doesn't.
No, it's actually really it really ties together very nicely. It's despite the fact that the dragon scales and the green is very, very strong and very unique texture and color, it ties in and it just looks lovely.
How does
it's gorgeous
it sound?
and supple. Of course, it came from Opal West. It sounds great.
Right, the baller exhaust. Does that sound good?
That sounds good.
It sounds nice.
Yeah.
It's rich and throaty.
Does it?
Yeah.
Could we put it in a monster truck show?
Pretty close.
All right.
Pretty close. It's got enough lift. The wheels are awesome.
I'm really
The
a little
wrap
more
is
of a refined
fantastic.
guy, but once in a while I like to get rough and dirty and hear lots of noise. The less noise a car usually makes me happier, but sometimes just I just.
Well,
like
and
that.
this is a vehicle that's meant to stand out. This is not for shrinking violets. That is not for wallflowers. This
Not
is
me. I like people to hear me coming like 2 blocks away.
And they do.
I love loud exhaust.
And they
2
do.
blocks away minimum.
All right. So interior, you did some refinements on the colors.
absolutely redid custom seats for it, custom door panels, rewrapped a lot of the fixtures on the inside to tie into the same color scheme. So, visors, all the fittings, and, some of the tray areas in the back of it so that you've got that the green and gray theme throughout. So you look at the vehicle and it looks like you built it that way because we built it that way.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the seats have this green middle section, which is kind of scales.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, the inserts of the seats, they're gray to match the factory gray on the outside, but they're green dragon scale inserts, which are all hand sewn with, gray top stitching, so it all blends together, and it just really, the touch and feel on it, people will put their hands all over it and go.
And they do.
That's
It's an auto
fantastic.
show.
Yeah.
The challenge is always to make sure they don't take pieces of the car with them when they go out.
Yeah, perfectly normal.
I have a taser. We'll be fine.
Yeah.
When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about the wrap. We're going to talk about the audio system, the electronics that went in the vehicle. And still to come, there is some big surprises coming your way at this year's Portland International Auto Show, including off-roading in the city in some Land Rovers. We'll tell you what you can drive, where you can drive them, and how you can drive them. That's all coming up on Testmiles on FM News 101 KXL. I'm Nick Miles.
Testmiles, like NASCAR, but with one right turn. Testmiles.com.
Staying connected, the automotive world. You're listening to Portland's #1 radio car show, Testmiles. Thank you for heading into our 3rd year and supporting us that way.
Today's first fun fact is the Portland Auto Show started in 1910 and averages 100,000 visitors each year.
That is the lovely voice of Jen, who's joined the show this week and will be doing fun facts for us and research and keeping us all in line because apparently she can be quite a taskmaster. I hope. So you're familiar with the Baja 100 vehicles? Well, Testmiles' team had this idea of creating a Baja 100 style truck So we produced Project Tyrant. It had 4 rules. It had to be economic to drive, not a mile a gallon. It had to be able to go at freeway speeds. It had to be able to drive off-road conditions. And we'd also be able to live in it for a week if we needed to. Did we achieve this? Certified Automotive Repair, Northwest Autocraft. The guys who wrapped it from MCX, also Hard Notch Customs, Lund Industries, Wheelcraft, Baller Exhaust, Sick Rims, AVS Auto Vent Shades, and Wheelcraft all contributed to putting this truck together. And hopefully we've got quite a nice vehicle. So, Peter, we left off talking about what you've done on the interior as far as colors and seat upholstery, new headliner, new carpet.
No new headliner, no new carpet. We ran out of time.
You did some coloring though, didn't you?
Oh yeah. We took down the overhead bins and the visors and some of those elements, and then brought the green in there in trim element. So it
looks good.
It looks really lovely.
All right, and then
nice and tasteful.
Let's talk about electronics. What have we done on electronic side?
Well, we end up choosing to go with just a nice Kenwood system all the way around. Put a Apple CarPlay radio in the dash, so you've got full smartphone integration. Used a really nice Kenwood backup camera, so we can see when we're parking, because this thing's a big beast, and every car should just have a backup camera these days.
Agree.
Yeah. Upgrade the audio with the full top-of-the-line Kenwood Exelon 5-channel system amplifier, 10-inch subwoofer underneath the rear seat, Kenwood Exelon speakers in the doors. We dynamat sounded in the door structures, just made it rich, full, clear, musical. And, we chose that because it sounds odd, but when you're looking at a new car, they're going to have audio upgrade options, right? Say on a brand new, Harman Kardon on a Subaru is a $2,500 option. Well, we actually chose this package to be a $2,500 upgrade, so that you can hear what you get when you pick what you want, as opposed to just buying what a car manufacturer puts in the car for you. And for the same price, you can modify your car, change it, make it the way you wish. You'll get way better results than buying it that way.
All right, so you put in this really cool system, but did you do some keyless stuff as well, didn't you?
No, we were going to. We ran out of time.
We changed that.
We changed that. Right. We were going to. We were going to. We did run out of time. That's the honest way to phrase that. We're all
pushed. With this car, this car has to be ready for when drive-in Wednesday morning, and the guys at Hard Notch Customs have still got to build the winches and the bumpers on it.
Yeah, no, it was a rough task since the vehicle actually could only steer on Friday. And actually come into brakes. My shop on Friday.
Right.
We've actually done this in the rain outside the building over the last 3 weeks. It kind of limits what you can and can't do timing wise, but it's lovely. Anyway, after the auto show, we'll put a proximity start system with proximity keys, so you'll just have a fob in your pocket. You walk up to the car will unlock automatically. You'll hop in the car. You won't have a key. You'll just press a button on the dash like a modern car.
I wish we'd had a reality TV show on this. It would have been absolutely amazing.
Yeah, this year? Absolutely.
Tears and headbanging and, just a lot of testing of the nerve. I mean, I'm desperately trying to get this done so I can get the TV show
I think it might have had to
finished.
run on HBO with the language that was...
Yes. Yeah, trying to explain to installers that it's January... It is raining sideways.
Right.
We still have to make this happen.
Right. I guess our only real benefit was we went on the East Coast this weekend.
Yes, that could have been a hot mess
that would have been
awful.
Really tough. All right, guys. So let's get on to the wrap. You guys, we worked hard. I think we went through about 3 or 4 different designs until we finally got there. So the original plan for Krista and Mick was to do scales. So what did you guys come up with?
Well, we kind of started with a range of like the wildest, craziest colors we could start with, and then put a few other colors like kind of greens and blues and yellows, and ended up going with more of like the green to the beige fade to go with the interior, and a nice pattern that matched the scales that we did inside. So it kind of ties everything all together.
I know that we'd originally wanted to do sort of carbon fiber on the top and going down, the scales getting bigger and bigger until they were sort of dragon scales. And there's sometime in the future, I really would like to put some kind of dragon luminescent eye stickers over the lights, just so they look like eyes, because I think that would make it look really, really
She did
cool.
end up putting like a ghosted alligator stripe on the hood.
Okay, cool.
I don't know if you'd noticed that, but in the daylight, it's going to stand out a little bit more. That shop light is a little tricky to see. But there's some kind of hidden details in there. She did sneak a couple things in there.
And then you guys have basically spent the last 2 days wrapping it, right?
Yeah.
How did that go?
Started with about 5+ hours of cleaning and quite a few magic erasers and, non-scratch pads.
Was it a mess?
It was dirty, man.
Oh,
it
it
was
was?
dirty. Yeah.
Well, we haven't been able to drive the thing for 2 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we couldn't even take it through a car wash.
Yeah.
Right.
Nobody's fault, but
No,
yeah.
it just happened.
It was growing things. Like it had organic life on the paint. So
Nasty. I guess it's Oregon. Things mold here pretty easily. I'm moldy.
Becomes part of the forest.
Right. So you cleaned it up, and then you started installing the wrap when?
I think what did we
was
start?
Friday morning.
Friday.
morning.
Friday morning, and you just finished yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was only because somebody canceled a job in the middle, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'd still be working on it. So actually, Hard Knocks Customs guys got it a day early.
They got an extra day.
Yeah,
so it's
to
good.
do their stuff,
Any extra time we can put on the board for everyone else is good.
Right.
At this point.
And overall, the beige wheels, there was like some concern that the beige wheels would just not look great. But actually, I got a phone call yesterday from one of the team, and they said, after a while it starts to grow on you, they do tie in. It was a concern that beige wheels with the green and black wouldn't really work, but apparently it does tie into the scales pretty well because they have yellow sort of shadowing around the scales, right?
Yeah, we kind of went with desaturated a little on the bottom so it would match more of the color. And it's like the scales kind of emerge as it gets lower. You don't see a whole lot on the top, and then it's kind of like the underbelly of a snake on the bottom.
Yeah.
So this will be in the Mobile West stand at the Portland International Auto Show, which is between halls D and C on the outside. So you need to walk around the outside to go see it. And you can actually, when you get to the show, physically get in and have a look. I do have a question.
Absolutely.
Am I going to need a step ladder to get in it?
You're going to need a step ladder. I'll be okay. Nick, you'll need a step ladder.
It's going to be that. Well, Kyle Keenan probably will need be hoist on someone's shoulders to get
Scissor
into
lift.
it. So, yeah, scissor lift to get into it. All right. You're listening to Testmiles and FM News 101 KXL. When we come back, more news about the Portland International Auto Show. We'll tell you some things you can do there that you can't do at any other show in the USA. That's next on Testmiles. I'm Nick Miles.
Favorite us, tweet us, friend us, love us, all at testmiles.com.
Live from our studios in downtown Portland, it's Sunday morning. This is America's Car Radio Show. We'd like to thank you for being part of the Car Nation. For more fun facts about cars, find them at our Facebook page at Testmiles ENT. And don't forget to watch Coin 6 Tuesday night at 7 p.m. for a special look at the Portland International Auto Show. You got a fun fact for us?
Yeah, the fun fact, Land Rover Company began selling the Range Rover officially in the United States on March 16th, 1987.
And they have never looked back from then on in. I am very proud to welcome two of we're debating how to use the language here. I say old friends, but they've been friends for a long time, if that's the way we should talk about it. Dan Mugley and Tim Hensley, gentlemen, you are bringing something to the Portland International Auto Show, which is, I know one place I've seen it before, and that was at the New York Auto Show, 2010. So explain to me what it is so I have a pre-assumption of what it is because I've got some information on it, but maybe Dan, explain what you're doing to Portland that's never really been done before.
Well, this year for the auto show, we proposed and the show accepted the idea of us converting the new plaza across from the convention center into an off-road demonstration track. So we called upon our great and long-trusted friend Tim Hensley here and his team to come in and construct that track for us, and we'll be operating it during the show hours.
Let's talk a little bit about what you had to do, because this was sort of a concrete park, a few trees, a flower bed or two, a few benches. And I can't imagine what you had to go through to make an off-road track in the city.
Yeah. Well, it's actually a beautiful little plaza, and it's a great venue. But it certainly was an undertaking, and
You better sell a lot of Land Rovers, I'm guessing, to get your money back.
Well, there's some truth to that. We can talk a little bit more about how that's going, and we're very happy about how that's going already. But I'll let Tim speak to a little bit about what has been going into actually constructing the track here.
All right, so Tim, I guess the first thing is you probably didn't dig anything up. You probably brought dirt in, I'm guessing.
We did. We actually put a covering on the plaza, plastic and plywood, and then on top of that, we brought in about 300 tons of recycled material that will be again recycled at the end of this. It'll go back into usage. So with that, we construct a course that really showcases the features and capabilities of the vehicle. Vehicles will be using primarily Discovery Sport and possibly an Evoque, Range Rover Evoque on the course as well.
I am amazed that you can just walk across the road, and instead of traveling out, 25 miles to the coast, you basically have a ready-made adventure at the show. Now, we've seen Camp Jeep come in before, where they sort of put some wood inside the convention center and some big bridges and some suspension tests and these things, but I've never seen anybody build anything like this. When did this project start?
Well, I started discussing this project with Jeff Fishback, the manager of the auto show, quite a few months ago. And so we've been cooking on this idea for quite a while. There's actually 3 steps in this proximity stage there. The convention center is the home of the Portland International Auto Show. Directly across the street from the convention center is the plaza where the off-road demonstration track will be held. And directly across the street from the plaza is Land Rover Portland, where people can come and take delivery of a new Land Rover.
Right. So you could go to the show, you could go test drive it, and then you could walk across and buy one, which would be the perfect case scenario. And I'm sure this show, one of the reasons to have an auto show is to introduce people to things that they could put in their garage. So there is a direct connection with going to see cars at the show and purchasing cars eventually, because it's like, you can go up and down 82nd, or you can come downtown, or you can go to Milwaukee, and you can see maybe 50% of what you can see in the convention center.
Yeah, and I should say I'm being tongue-in-cheek about that, although our center is there for anybody who wants to go experience the cars on a greater level. But we honestly view the show as a non-selling show. It's just an opportunity for us to expose our products to maybe a couple 100,000 people in the community over a few days, and we do experience benefits from that year-round. We don't look at selling at the show.
I think the show isn't a sales show as much. It's people go there and look at what they might want to buy, and I think it has a direct correlation to purchasing a vehicle later down the road. Land Rover of Portland. You've been around for a long time. You've been supplying the only Land Rover dealer within quite a ways of Portland. You've got a lot of very loyal customers. I know I'm one of them. And you've got some pretty really amazing products coming in the last 2 years. Almost this time last year, I was in Iceland driving the Discovery Sport, and now those starting to filter through. Although I think I'm getting the impression that they're in fairly high demand because it's a great vehicle.
Well, it is a fabulous vehicle, and frankly, all of our vehicles are in very great demand. We're just in a very fortunate position over the last, number of years here. Every one of our models has been completely redesigned and re-engineered, and it is. I've been with the brand for 21 years, and it is by far the most exciting time in the history of our brand. And from the Range Rover, which is just the peerless vehicle, and the data point was that it was introduced in the United States in 1987, but it was introduced to the world in 1970. So
right.
They've been going a long time on building and refining and improving this vehicle.
I learned to drive in a 1972 Range Rover. The carpet was peeling off the floor because it's come a long way since those days.
And we're hearing now that everybody from Rolls Royce to Bentley to, everybody else is tired of seeing this peerless Range Rover out there. They're going to try to take a shot at it. Well, we just say, bring it on. We got a big head start.
Right. I mean, obviously, it would be interesting to see how well they cope with the new Range Rover. With the new Bentley SUV.
Yeah.
I have an event which we work, Tim and I go to regularly, which is called Mudfest, which is the Northwest Automotive Press Association's off-road testing. And last year, Bentley sent a representative without the vehicle to check the event out because they were preparing for it. And I'm not sure of the result, but they went home at lunchtime on the second day. They didn't stay for the evening, so they may have thought that the competition was a little too strong. We'll have to see how they match up the new Bentley.
Well, I'm confident they'll be able to develop a more expensive vehicle, but I'm not at all sure about being able to develop a better vehicle than the Range Rover.
And I think more expensive has never been an issue for them at all whatsoever. Off-roading, of course, this is the backbone of the Land Rover brand. One of the things that the vehicles have to be able to do is cope with any kind of Tundra, Ford 33 inches. I think that's what the new Range Rover Sport does.
35.4 actually,
right.
so nearly 3 feet of water.
That's almost as tall as our race drive friend Kyle Keenan. I think they're Ford, they crawl, they get through almost anything, and that's kind of part of the deal. And people always give me a hard time, and they say, well, the people that buy these cars, they never take them off road. It's not. They don't buy them to take off road. They buy them so they know they can if they need to.
We've long referred to Land Rover. Actually, I should give credit here while we're in these studios that one of your station managers for one of your sister stations made the observation to me years ago that Land Rover was kind of the official vehicle of the Northwest Experience, and we've incorporated that into our thinking for many years, and the Discovery is really the perfect definition of that. There's so much that our Northwest environment offers us here potentially, from skiing to going down a little trail to the beach cabin or whatever, and these vehicles are just absolutely perfectly suited to that.
Yeah, I mean, I've owned one for years, and they're definitely one of the must-buys for me.
Yeah, and I should, we talked about the Range Rover, the peerless vehicle, which, a lot of people think, that's great for somebody, but not for me. But the thing is that today the average transaction price for an automobile is $35,000 for all vehicles sold, and the new Land Rover Discovery Sport starts out a little over $38,000, and so we're right there. It is really gaining broad acceptance.
And I drove it through an icy river in Iceland. If we can manage to do that, we can manage to do it with pretty much anything the Northwest can throw at it. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about what's Land Rover has to offer. There's a new fuel that can be used in your new Land Rover Range Rovers. I am very sold on that already. We've been waiting. I know they affectionately call you Diesel Dan. So we'll talk about that. And we'll also talk about how people partake in this off-road in the city, which is going to happen at the Portland International Auto Show. You listen to Testmiles. I'm Nick Miles.
Testmiles, like NASCAR, but with one right turn. Testmiles.com.
Into the last lap of our show this morning, live from our studios in downtown Portland, a Sunday morning America's Car Radio Show. More to come on Testmiles.
Fun fact, the Portland International Auto Show will be giving away 2 cars this year. A 2016 Toyota Prius for the show attendees and a 2016 Lexus IS 200T for anyone who attends the Sneak Peek charity event.
So $100 ticket gets you into that sneak peek. It happens Wednesday night. PortlandAutoshow.com is the website. That Toyota Prius, average of 54 miles a gallon in the city, 7 colors. It has their safety sense system, that nice 4.2-inch color multi-informational display, and the smart key system. And if you want to take that Lexus away, average of 33 miles a gallon, 8-speed automatic transmission, turbo inline 4, 2-liter engine, 0 to 66.9, 15 speakers, and an audio system, which is very, very nice. So nice vehicles. You have to go to Sneak Peek to win that Lexus IS 200T, and you'll have to go to the show if you want to win that Toyota Prius. The way to win those is just go to the booth when you see it and sign the little piece of paper. And then as soon as you get through the door, head straight to the Land Rover stand, because that's where you'll see the cars we're talking about this morning. All right, so we talked a little bit about how you've set it up. We talked a little bit about how you got there in the first place and the opportunity. So to drive these vehicles, what does Joe the plumber have to do?
Well, you simply enter our Discovery Sport experience directly across the street from the main entrance to the convention center. And we'll have staff there who will be handling registrations and actually setting appointment times for people to take the drives and signing the appropriate documentation that's necessary.
So presumably you have to have a valid driver's license.
Yes, you have to have a valid driver's license and insurance and meet all the criteria. But
should be pretty straightforward and easy then to do. So you head over there and you do that to drive the vehicle. So we're driving Discovery Sports. What is hot on the Land Rover lot right now? What's the hottest vehicle?
Well, they're all hot. Land Rover enjoyed being the number one growth brand in the industry last year, 37% growth.
Wow.
Compared to the industry average of 5%, I think, growth. So across the board, our products are hot. We already talked about the Range Rover, the Range Rover Sport, which is actually built on a similar all-aluminum platform, a little bit smaller, a little bit sportier orientation, is just scorchingly hot. The Range Rover Evoque, which really took the world by storm and has now won 160 international design and Car of the Year awards,
nice.
Has really become a staple for us. And then joining us late last year is the new Land Rover Discovery Sport, which is, as I mentioned, beginning at a little over $38,000. You can get it with 7 passengers. It comes, very well equipped as a basic car, and there's other things you can do to add on to that. So that is the car that we will be featuring on the course. We'll probably have the other model there as well, but we're calling it the Land Rover Discovery Sport experience.
Of course, that Discovery Sport is dominating that compact SUV segment. It did win last year as the luxury Northwest vehicle, so a luxury compact vehicle, which I think is absolutely astounding. Tim, I wanted to ask you a question. So you're getting into cars with drivers that you never met before until you get into so scary moments for you sometimes?
It really can be. Our team, we've done this for a long time, and you really do get a big variety of different skill levels and expectations. And it's really about setting expectations for what the speeds on the course are, which is very slow. We have a saying, as slow as possible, as fast as necessary.
Okay.
And he has had years of experience working with low expectation.
As auto journalist.
As we had him working with Mudfest and auto journalists.
Yeah, he's shepherded me. I think one of the memorable moments I think that you always told me about was the Meridian sound system in the full-size Range Rover. You said Range Rover have a $70,000 sound system. They just built a car around the outside, which it's true. It sounds unbelievable. It does sound unbelievable. I would take these cars anywhere. Of course, my dogs own their own one, which is their vehicle. We check them out constantly inside of them. They're just outstanding vehicles. And people make a lot of really good cars in America. It's hard for me to find a car I don't like. But this Range Rover, the Land Rovers and Range Rovers are, this is the I made it car. I mean, opposed to a Rolls Royce, which is I really, really made it. But this is I made it car for me. And now you don't necessarily have to make it because they're such a reasonable price as well. All right, so it opens. When does it open?
Show opens Thursday morning. I'm not sure. You might know
10
better.
a.m.
10 a.m.
probably,
I think, yeah.
So 10 a.m. you can head over to Discovery Sport to the off-roading and get yourself wet.
Visit there even before you enter the main show.
All right. That's the thing to do is go on by. Dan, Tim, thank you for coming in this morning. Thanks to the rest of the Testmiles team. Welcome Jennifer to the show. We are here 24/7 at testmiles.com. Don't forget to watch the special on Coin at 7 p.m. on Tuesday evening. What did I miss, Brad?
I think we'll be at the show next week.
Oh, that's
Is
right.
that right.
Live from the auto show next week. So we'll be experiencing everything we've talked about, getting our own feet wet. We'll see you next week. Thanks very much for listening. I'm Nick Miles.